Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Welcome to the Atlanta Falcons versus Baltimore Ravens game review. And let me just start out with the simple fact. I loved the improvement I saw from Desmond Ritter. Desmond Ritter played terrible in his first game. This game, he threw no touchdowns. He didn't rush for a touchdown, but he didn't make mistakes. And that is what I love to see. We did not win this game thanks to a holding call that cost a touchdown in the third quarter. And looking back at it, I actually think it is a holding call because the key is just grabbing the guy's jersey and then the guy just falls down. So I think it is a holding call. I think it is fair. And the Falcons lost this game 17-9. But let's talk about Desmond Ritter real quick. 22 for 35, 216 yards, averaging 6.6 yards per throw, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. He did get sacked twice, and he had a QBR of 51.6 and the passer rating 85.2, which is a lot better than last week. The 216 yards is what I love the most, but he was also consistent, 22 for 35. He had a lot of attempts. I think that's the most attempts the Falcons quarterback has had this season, and I love it, because he's also developing relationships with the receivers. Now, going on into the Baltimore quarterback, Tyler Huntley, he was 9 for 17, 115 yards, 1 touchdown, so he was alright too. But what really killed us was, in fact, the rushing game. Tyler Algier had 18 carries for 74 yards, did not rush over 100 yards, and the Falcons' rush defense is supposed to be better than the pass defense. And the rush defense made it look like they were a joke. Gus Edwards had 11 carries, 99 yards. J.K. Dobbins had 12 carries, 59 yards. And Tyler Huntley had 11 carries for 26 yards. In total, they beat us on the run game. They had 34 carries, 184 yards. We had 33 carries, 115 yards. So they ran the ball a lot better than us. So I'm not bothered by that. Algier, 18 carries, 74 yards. Patterson, 8 carries, 17 yards. Avery Williams, 3 carries, 16 yards. And Desmond Ritter had 4 carries for 8 yards. Now, in terms of the receiving, this is the big thing that I look at when it comes to Desmond Ritter. Was he going deep? And yes, he was. Drake London had 7 catches for 96 yards, which means he was averaging 13.7 yards per catch. Tyler Algier had 4 receptions, 43 yards. Olamide Zaccheaus had 4 receptions for 18 yards. Damiere Byrd, 1 reception, 15 yards. Cordell Patterson, 1 reception for 14 yards. Avery Williams, 2 receptions for 14 yards. And Anthony Ferguson had 2 receptions for 10 yards. Looking at the amount of yards that they're getting, based off of how many receptions they are, Desmond Ritter is pushing the ball past 10 yards. And that's what I love to see. Because when Marcus Mariota was the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, most of the passes were within 10 yards. Now we're starting to see Desmond Ritter, in his second official game, start to push the ball down forward. Yes, they're going with a lot of play actions, but he's starting to push the ball forward, and I love to see that. But one of the big mistakes in this game was Drake London. Back-to-back games, Drake London has caught the ball and fumbled the ball, and is on big possessions where it could have led up to a touchdown. And both the times he's fumbled the ball and he's lost the ball. And I'm not very happy with Drake London that he needs to secure the ball and not fumbling the ball so much. But other than that, Drake London had a very good game. I love the relationship that Drake London and Desmond Ritter are developing, and I can't wait to see how it does when we face the Cardinals this week, who just lost against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And speaking of which, the Falcons are now in the playoff contentions, so I don't have to worry about that. The Falcons are also the Falcons are also 1-7 away from home, so the next time they're away from home, I may not go with them to win, but it really depends on how Desmond Ritter plays, because I think Desmond Ritter has a chance of going better than what he did in this game against the Cardinals next week, because the Cardinals are going to be a lot terrible. Now, in terms of defense, surprisingly, the number 1 leading guy in tackles was Richie Grant. And if you guys did not know this, I did my own predictions on the sheet of paper, And when it comes to the tackles, I said Richie Grant would lead the tackles with 12. I didn't think that was gonna happen. I thought it would have been Rashaan Evans still leading the tackles. I also said Desmond Ritter was gonna go 20 for 26, 76% completion percentage, 204 yards. So I was close on the yards for Desmond Ritter. But Richie Grant leading the team in tackles. Rashaan Evans, Lorenzo Carter, Jalen Hawkins also being the top 4 tackles. The only 2 tackles for loss came from Jalen Dalton and A.J. Terrell. So A.J. Terrell had a better game. But then looking on the other side, Roquan Smith leads the team in tackles. Ever since he's come across from the Chicago Bears, he's been a difference maker for the Baltimore Ravens. Patrick Queen and Brandon Stevens had 0.5 sacks in total. And then Madubuike had a sack also. Roquan Smith had a tackle for loss. And Madubuike also had a tackle for loss. So they were able to get to Desmond Ritter. Considering the offensive line is not really that good, but overall, the Falcons losing this game 17-9. It could have been a whole lot different had Drake London not fumbled the ball and had the holding call went a different way. So really, the Falcons could have beat the Ravens in this game, and the way Desmond Ritter was playing, I'm very happy to see it, and I'm very excited for when it comes to next weekend. Desmond Ritter has a chance to end the season off perfectly. Let's see if he can go beat the Arizona Cardinals.